Why is this null though? So it's just because it's null, because we're supposed to call set. It's on the viewport client. Why in the hell am I not having the viewport control the goddamn HUD? Like, that just kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Let's move the HUD to the goddamn viewport client. Makes no sense. It's like, what? Yeah. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. Like, our HUD should probably be in the viewport, but these things should be inside of other things. What a mess. I guess we have activated, deactivated, locks, focus. Alright. So we'll throw that in there. And if we throw the game instance needs all these sorts of things in it. Alright, begin destroy. We want to go to our game instance. We're going to go to our shutdown. Well, I just gotta figure out. It's gonna be kind of pulling teeth to get everything where I want it to be. I'll have to figure it out if anything even works here. So, I just gotta get through it, get everything here. Game instance. This is gonna be viewport client. We'll see if we can actually get all this stuff to not explode in our faces. Gosh, yeah, I just totally threw everything in the goddamn game mode. I thought that was the place we're supposed to put stuff, but that's the server. Whoops. A lot of people have done that. And then I got stuff inside the player controller which deals with like camera and bullshit like that. When the player controller is something that exists on the client and the server. Yeah, a lot of this stuff just isn't going to work at all, is it? Because they got like get first player controller and all this stuff. That's going to return. Yeah. What a wreck. It's actually kind of funny. Like, God, they really set it up so you can dig yourself into a hole. Well, that blew everything up. Let's not run a dedicated server. Alright, so we were able to actually do things. Did our UI pop up? Yeah. And if we run a dedicated server, it does do stuff, but our what in the fuck? Oh, it actually went to the remote server. Awesome. I was not expecting that to do that. I ran it with the command line. Alright. And let's see if we can close down without crashing out. Alright, not bad. It's pretty decent. Let's make sure that some of our other stuff works. We're going to need to get that tick function working properly, though. Not bad. Alright. So I need a good tick function. I need to make an actor and have it tick on pre-update and call us. With our game instance is what we need to do. Alright, where was this? I had two different tick functions and I bound them all together and all this other crap. There's like a pre and post update, and I think that was on like the Dashkin actor or something. Dashkin entity actor. We've got a secondary tick function, which is an ftick function. And how do we register that tick function? Made a post update tick. Secondary tick function. Start with tick enabled. Alright, can I just like lift this out of here and have a tick function that we specify inside of the game instance? Let's see if we can do that. Alright, so this defines our tick function for our game instance. So Dashkin game instance tick. And we're going to set the game instance right there. And so we need to create one of these guys. This will be tick function, or just call it ticker. And what we need to do is we need to set the thing on there. Alright, so if we go into our game instance, into the constructor, we should be able to see this. What's the declaration for this? Oh, give me a frickin' break, IntelliSense. It's in engine types.h, you piece of junk. I guess it's not engine types.h. So what is the tick group that we had on the game mode? Pre-updates. Alright, that's what we want. let's get our ticks going down here. This is going to be game instance tick. Scope cycle counter U object. Is that gonna work? I mean, there isn't a knit, so I guess we need to do something like that. We're screwed, aren't we? This isn't really what I want at all. I guess I have to make an actor, but how do I actually spawn in an actor for this thing? Like for every level. I mean, why the hell can't they just give us a fucking tick function on the game instance? What's so hard about that? Is there a tick on the goddamn game instance already that I'm not aware of? The hell is this timer manager? Well, supposedly it did stuff, but I'm not convinced it's going to work with anything. I don't think it's gonna. I think we have an issue here where it's tied to the level for the tick function. Like I want to register a tick function. As a tick function to the master list of tick functions for a level. We are unable to place an object onto the ground. Alright, so I'm reading the logs here, and it does look like it's doing things, but the client is just trash. See what this timer manager is. I need to see like if there's anything for the game instance that we already have this sort of. Like there's no tick anywhere, is there? So how does this F timer manager work? So we're getting ticked by the timer manager? So this is getting ticked by the editor engine, and then it's getting ticked by the level tick. Okay. So where's the level tick? It's in the editor engine. Editor, context, world, tick seconds. Let's see, any way to do something. Game instance is probably your best bet if you want to stay active regardless of map change game state. Yes, but you want to use the game state. Game state doesn't tick. Maybe have a game instance create an actor in the persistent level which calls your tick. Spawning an actor and saving it in the game instance. If the persistent level changes, not the streaming ones, then the game instance recreates the tick actor and everything starts moving again. Hope that makes sense. That way, the call to your global code is still from a single place, game instance, if the persistence level changes. So I just want to spawn an actor. Alright, so I need to go to the game instance. Alright, so we've got a U property here for this guy. So we'll get this hopefully set up here. Alright, so we'll get this rolling. Alright, so we have game instance on this thing. Alright, so we'll spawn an actor. We want this instance ticker static class. Alright, so name none. If no owner is specified, the persistent level is used. Alright, so we just do in ticker get world spawn actor in ticker in game instance equals this. Is that it? Is that all we need to do? So we'll get ticked all the time. Cannot convert from a actor to a Dashkin game instance ticker. So we're supposed to cast it. Alright, well, we'll compile that when it's finished here, and then we'll see what we can do with this. I don't like relying on the default functionality for persistent world, persistent level. What is the persistent level? I don't know, I haven't messed around with any level transition flow stuff either, so I'm gonna have to take a look at that. Make sure that... I guess we'll be loading like a master level, which is like nothing, and then we'll be transitioning to other levels from that level. And that's how you're supposed to set your game up. Fuck, I don't know. It's amazing how much you can do. Alright, so if we hit play now, got our tick and everything else going. Okay, cool. So if we play and we run a dedicated server, okay, so that's working as we would expect it to work. So I'm pretty sure we got that right. Come on, let me select things, Jesus. That's the pre-update tick, so everything's gonna do what it's supposed to. So we've made our actor, and it's there, and it's a U property and all that. So it's not gonna go anywhere, and it's gonna tick our game instance, and we'll be good to go. Hello, Sinacron. I'm starting on the multiplayer stuff. And it's requiring me to do lots of things. Like, I went through all the documentation, which is why my brain is totally shot right now, which I basically spent 2 hours reading tech docs and making diagrams. But like, with this game lifecycle, like, you got your client and you got your server, and Unreal works in a client-server situation. So if we have like a server, what happens is when you boot up the program, it creates a game instance on both the client and the server process. Like, if these are two processes, they each make a game instance, and then only the server makes a game mode. And the thing is, I shoved like all this crap into everything in my game into the fucking game mode, thinking that the game mode was going to exist. Mainly because the game mode actually had a tick function in it, which I needed to like update input and audio and everything. So I thought that's where you're supposed to throw stuff, and of course that doesn't exist on the client. So yeah, I'm having to move everything in the game mode into the game instance, and then figure out all the repercussions of that. So that's the fun times I'm working with at the moment. Alright, so I moved that. I fixed the HUD to create the web window on first tick. We need a base shared game instance class. We need a client version of the game instance. We need to blueprint that and set that blueprint as the default. Server version of the game instance. Alright. Alright, so with the game instance, I'm going to need a client and a server. So this is going to be Dashkin server game instance. We'll have Dashkin client game instance. And then we'll have a game mode. So Dashkin server game mode. And then we will also need the Dashkin client game mode. And what am I talking about here? There is no client game mode. So let's get rid of that. The game mode exists on the server. I gotta get my frickin' story straight here. It's the game instance that's different. Alright, let's also add our, is this locked? Yes, it's locked. Let's check that out. Booted up a couple templates, started playing with roller template and started tweaking it a bit. Yeah, Unreal 4 is really good in terms of an engine. Like, I was working with Lumberyard and CryEngine, and I've worked with Unity and some other stuff, but Unreal just kind of beats the pants off of them in terms of stuff actually working. It's just so much more complete than the other engines, as far as I can tell. And that really just has to do with how long the engines existed and how many iterations they've gone through. And just kind of doing what they do. Alright, so we have our game client instance. We don't need this. We don't need the platform. This will be Dashkin. We don't need to include any of this stuff. I should just be able to Dashkin client game instance generated. Don't need the actor. This should just be u-Dashkin client game instance, which is going to be this u-Dashkin game instance. Alright, so we're going to override init and shutdown. We're also going to override tick. Update pause. We don't need any of this trash. So why don't we just get it like that. So we have client game instance. We don't need this. Let's do our super tick first. And do we need shutdown? Yes, we need shutdown. So super shutdown. Just like that. Registering threads, we don't need any of that stuff. It's really satisfying to throw together a blueprint and explosives when I'm yeah, it's real easy. It's like the visual scripting stuff there is really cool, and the better part of it is they actually got the visual scripting stuff to compile to C++ as well now. So that's pretty baller. Alright, we need the definition for that class so we can actually instantiate it. Just need client instance initialized. Good, good, good. We don't need the editor, we don't need any of this stuff. Hey, what is with this copyright? That's not the right copyright. We need the real copyright. Alright, so new class allow blueprint type, is that what it is? Is it blueprint type? Class specifiers. Blueprint type. Exposes this class as a type that can be used for blueprints, used for variables. Blueprintable. Supposes this class is an acceptable base class for creating blueprints. The default is not blueprint. Right, so we want blueprintable to be this thing. So we want to be able to make a client game instance blueprint. Alright, so this will be our server game instance. Dashkin server. So we'll get this rolling. Alright, so if we need a server game instance so that we can actually have server specific logic, do we really need this constructor? I don't know. And it's blueprintable. Alright. Let's see if we can compile this out. I forgot something. Let's also go to our Perforce and make sure that we grab these files. Man, I'm starting to get hungry. I'll just have to include the correct thing. I'll have to recompile all the things. So it'll be interesting. I gotta figure out how I can control this pawn, this actor from the client, and have it move on the server. Because right now, what's happening is the actor on the server is actually reading the keyboard, I believe, and moving it around on the server, but it's not being replicated to the client. And I'm gonna have to think about what that means. You know, like if we want to move the client on the server, or if we want to move the client on move the character on the server, move the character on the client, and how exactly all that works. Because it may be that just gonna see how the latency and everything actually does what it does.